Welcome to Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide. I am Chanel Scott, a healer and a psychic medium who has been sharing my gifts professionally for more than a decade. This is a space where spirituality is simple, grounded, and lived, not performed. Here, we talk about the real inner work, the pauses, the questions, the healing, and the moments that shift everything quietly. This is the real talk for real life, without the fluff, the bypassing, or the pressure to be anything other than yourself. Through honest conversations, guided healing sessions, and soulful reflections, you'll be reminded that you already carry the wisdom you're seeking. Spirituality isn't something you chase. It's something you remember and embody. I'm here with you on this journey we call life, to gently guide you back to yourself, to reclaim your power, and remember your sacred self. From my heart and soul to yours. Hey there, Chanel here. This is a new episode of Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. So welcome, beautiful souls. I am here as your host and your spiritual tour guide on this beautiful journey we call life. And today we're talking about healing, the healing cycle, why awareness isn't enough. There is so much to healing, but it does actually begin with awareness. It is the starting point, but it is not the only part of the process. It is a huge misconception that once we have awareness, that it's magically solved, and that's so not the case. When we discover a pattern, an old belief system, a habit, or something that's repeating over and over again, we keep asking why it keeps showing up. But just acknowledging that pattern, that belief system, that something that doesn't feel right anymore isn't enough to actually transform it, to change it, to shift it into something else. That is only the beginning, the very first step of the healing process. Awareness is important. And when we are in a state of being present, being in our bodies, being in our present moment, which we don't like to do. We like to worry and stress about the past and about the future, which takes us out of the now. But when we are in the now, we see things. Our awareness is heightened because we are present. And awareness is the first step in the healing process. Awareness is an ability to create change. It is an observation that allows us to make a different choice. But it doesn't automatically change things. This is really important. Now, my one girlfriend always called it the God deal, and I loved that. And if God's not your jam, just call it something else. Your universal jam, your universal deal, or whatever makes you feel good. Find a nickname for it. But when we were in a place where we were frustrated that we would see the pattern happening and we weren't changing the pattern yet, she would say that's the God deal. That is the universe shining a light for you to be able to have awareness that it is happening. Because once upon a time, you didn't even see that. In the frustration of seeing it, we forget that once upon a time, we had no clue it was even happening. We had no awareness, no recognition. It just kept repeating. We kept doing the thing. So awareness is the ability to see something. It's the Maya Angelou quote, which I love, 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 love. When we know better, we do better. Awareness is knowing better. Awareness is the beginning of that process. It is awareness of the patterns and the belief systems that we hold. That thing that repeats over and over again. Choosing the wrong partner. Someone that represents the things that you are trying to let go of instead of the things you are trying to heal. People pleasing. Shrinking to fit in. Perfectionism. Scarcity. All the repeating patterns, the stupid emotional triggers that come up over and over and over again, and we go, ugh. instead of the next time that you're in the middle of one of those cycles where you started into it and you realized you were doing it, instead of going and getting frustrated, can you instead pat yourself on the back and be like, you saw it and you stopped it before it was over? It is a pattern, and when we move into frustration, we're not working towards healing it. We're moving into heavy vibrations. But when we acknowledge that we're there and we try to shift it, we move into the vibration of healing and lightness and shift. This isn't about fixing the moment. It's just about starting to see it. Maybe in the middle of it, maybe even closer to the end. Sometimes at the beginning that happens, but eventually we move into the middle of it, and then we move into the beginning of it, and then we start to acknowledge it before we do it. And that's the magic. But awareness is necessary. It is the beginning. It is the starting of the process. Then from awareness, we need to move into acceptance. And these kind of go hand in hand, in all honesty. Acceptance isn't approval of whatever's going on. Let me be really clear. Acceptance is just acknowledgement that it exists, that it's happening. When we move into where do I want to go with this? How do I want to say this? When we ignore acceptance, we kind of move into a negative loop, that negative self-talk that comes in. We often move into judgment, to shame, to putting ourselves down, into that negative self-talk, beating ourselves up. Acceptance deserves compassion. When we move to compassion instead, that's when we stop. We take accountability without the negative crap attached to it. We just simply say, this is what this is. I accept that it exists, that it happened, and now I choose to do something different. I choose to see this and do this differently next time. Make a pattern change, make a belief system change. So acceptance isn't this piece of like approval. It is simply acknowledgement through compassion with an open heart that something is happening. We have to have acceptance to be able to move to the next step. Without acceptance, we are stuck here. And we maybe even revert and lose awareness because all we do is get into this frustration loop of overwhelm, of frustration, of anger, of sadness, of grief, because it just keeps happening. We know it's happening, but when we don't have acceptance, it just keeps looping. We have to acknowledge it. We have to say, this is happening, to be able to make a different choice. Without compassion, without acceptance, we're just making the loop. This moves me into the next step, and this step I really love, and it's gratitude. I love, love, love gratitude. Gratitude has gotten me through some of the hardest moments in my life. Doing a gratitude journal, being able to acknowledge the things that I'm gratitude for in moments where I feel like there is nothing to be grateful for. When you find something, anything, it raises your vibration. It takes you out of that negative loop, and it moves you to receiving. It opens the energy. It begins to calm the nervous system. It begins to regulate the nervous system. This is where perspective can really shine. Because perspective lets us, or is us choosing how we see something. We can choose to see all the negative parts, all the yucky parts, all the heavy parts, and we can feel sad and frustrated and lonely and all the things. Or we can choose to see what was put before us with compassion and love and find gratitude not in the situation or the experience or the trauma, but in what we received from it. Through what it showed us, the lesson we learned, what we get to embody, what we get to choose. That's where the gratitude is. Have gratitude for your resilience. Have gratitude for your strength. Have gratitude for your courage, your determination. Have gratitude for your intuition and your body's wisdom. There is always something to be grateful for. You're breathing, aren't you? Be grateful. This isn't about toxic positivity. This isn't about bypassing. This is about real. Find something, as little as it is, and hold on to it. Because that thing will lead you to another thing, to another thing, and to another thing. It is about gratitude for seeing, for awareness. It is gratitude for what you know, what you learned, what you can choose to do different. Gratitude is a powerful tool, so use it. Use it every single day. Gratitude is about acknowledging what you have and not what you don't. I think that is such a powerful thing. Gratitude is acknowledgement, awareness, acceptance of what you have. When you can take gratitude to there, that's the magic. What you have. Resiliency, awareness, lessons, embodiment, wisdom, knowledge, intuition, breath, life. It's big. This leads us into the last part of the healing journey because it really is 4 pieces. It's 4 steps. The last part is action. And not forced action. I'd like to even maybe call it embodiment instead of action. This is where healing really creates transformation. Because it's taking everything we've learned and applying it. Hence, embodiment. Doing the thing. It's like when you learn to drive a car. Going to driver's ed and learning all the theory is great, but until you get into the car and drive it, we haven't embodied the lessons we've learned. We're learning to drive the car, our human body. The embodiment piece is taking all the steps before us and all the things we've learned and actually applying them. It might be saying no. It might be setting a boundary. It might be taking rest. Oh, rest. Do it. It's so good for you. It might be asking for help. It might be that repatterning we talked about, changing, doing something different, doing something new. Change can't happen unless we actually change. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different isn't change. Is that the definition of insanity? Maybe. Trusting your intuition, going inward, really knowing yourself. This is where the power happens. Embodiment is the alignment of our mind, body, and soul. It is the action that happens when collectively everything is in alignment. Our thoughts and feelings, the things we're saying, the actions we are taking, comes together to find alignment. And this isn't necessarily an easy process. Just because it's 1, 2, 3, 4 doesn't mean that it's quick. It means that it's meaningful. Healing begins when our actions reflect our belief systems. I always say in yoga class, we'll hear the same body cue over and over and over again, and one day it just lands and you can do it. It's the same thing with action. We hear that looping pattern over and over and over again, and one day it just lands. And that transformation happens. That action reflects the belief system, and we shift. We feel it different. Because feeling is the big thing. It takes time. Now, the thing we need to talk about, though, because it's going to come up in every step along the way, is that feeling of getting stuck. And we're going to give this space and we're going to honor it because we all do it. We feel blocked. We feel stuck. Why? Why? This comes back to conscious versus subconscious. I know you didn't want to hear that, did you? We hate those subconscious beliefs. That's why you come see me. I work on them. We do healing. We do spiritual practices. I get to see what others don't see because I use my magic to do it. That's what it means for me being a healer and a channel. I get to see the subconscious places that you might not have awareness of. And I get to help you through them. I digress. Subconsciously, if the change doesn't feel safe, we won't shift it. If the success is going to cause rejection, we're going to resist it. If being seen feels dangerous, we're going to resist it. If disappointing others is going to make you unlovable, we're going to resist it. If the change is too much, creates stress, too much responsibility, we're going to resist it. Your subconscious isn't trying to sabotage you. I know that's what you're thinking, isn't it? All it's trying to do is keep you safe. So through these 4 steps, it's about repeating them wherever we need to get the information, to peel back another layer. It isn't about moving into frustration. It's moving into compassion again and again and again. To allow yourself to see what you need to see. Frustration is not a state of receiving. Compassion is. When we move into the heavies, we are not receiving. Did you hear that? It was releasing. When things like that happen, it's like the tap on the shoulder of like, are you getting this? Because I move to frustration all the time. I totally acknowledge that. I totally accept that. And now I need to change it, right? The more understanding we create by moving through the 4 steps, the more information we have to create change and transformation. Where am I in my healing cycle? Is it time to repeat and dig a little deeper? I think that's one that always tricks people and knocks us up, is when we go, I did this already. Not recognizing there's maybe a deeper layer. That we're coming back to this pattern again. You have awareness, so you didn't repeat the pattern, you just acknowledge it. You get to do the cycle without having the experience necessarily. And that's what I love about awareness and spirituality and being present. Sometimes we get to bypass the experience of the lesson. And we just get memories or, triggers that say, hey, this is about to happen. What are you going to do about it instead? And when we take the time, we get to go that next layer. We get to go a little deeper. We get to uncover another belief system that doesn't resonate anymore. It's not in alignment. And we get to choose something different. My spirit guides, the universe will tell us over and over and over again, you have choice. This whole healing journey and these 4 steps are your choice. You can choose the hard way or you can choose flow, because flow just allows. Surrender allows. And when we move into receiving, we open ourselves to healing. We open ourselves to embodying something different because we've made the choice to not repeat the pattern. It's not, what am I doing wrong? It's not what I am doing wrong. And I'm going to say it one more time because this is so important. It's not what is going wrong. Instead, ask what this is showing me. What this layer, what this stage is showing me. What is this showing me? Healing isn't a linear journey. It's a cycle, and it happens over and over and over again. And each time we release a layer, we move into deeper wisdom, we grow. And every time we move through that cycle, it expands our capacity. It expands our capacity to live more fully. To step into our dreams and to live our true self. Again, I just want to say it one more time. This isn't an easy process. The more you resist, the more it persists. The more you flow, the more you go. I wish you flow. From my heart and soul to yours. This is a beautiful healing journey. Embrace it. Go with the flow. Thank you for spending this time with me. If something from this episode resonated, let it settle. Awareness will always show you what you need to know. If you feel called to go deeper, you're invited to explore the ways we can work together through private sessions, group experiences, and guided practices, all shared at my website, fromtheheartandsoul.com. And if this episode supported you, subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing it with someone on a similar path helps this work reach those who may need it. Trust what stayed with you. Trust what stirred. Those are the directions meant for you. Until the next time, keep listening inward and walking your path in your own way. From my heart and soul to yours.